Um, right, Kelly? Yes, yes. But what's nice tonight is to sit back here and hear some new, interesting insights. So, without further ado, I'd like to bring up our next speaker, Kerry Walsh. Kerry Walsh has one superpower, and that is the ability to convince anyone that she is correct. Kerry, you could be my mother. She owns and is the speaker of K Motivation SA. She has been a disability advocate for many years, but in a professional capacity at the Rare Diseases Association of South Africa for 3 years. Kerry was the January 2018 monthly winner for the Margaret Hirsch Women in Business Award. When Kerry is not balancing her multiple jobs, you'll find her spending time with her nieces and nephews and her family. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kerry with her presentation called Living in the Unknown.
Hi everybody, my name's Kerry Walsh and I was born and raised in Johannesburg, South Africa. And I believe that life is a journey and it's our responsibility to make the most of it. I like to live my life by the quote that it isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, but it's about learning to dance in the rain. I was born as a twin, and being a twin is an exciting adventure because you always have a person who knows how you're feeling and someone who has your back. It's like having a copy and paste, if you will. And being a twin means that I have a direct comparison. And when you have a direct comparison, you are often questioned as to why you aren't exactly the same. As per the pictures, blonde, brunette, it's questionable sometimes. Around the age of 6 months, she started sitting and crawling, and I hadn't. This obviously started the questions. I was originally taken to the doctor where I was diagnosed with low muscle tone. I then did a couple of months of physical therapy and was further diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy. SMA is a genetic condition that makes the muscles weaker. It can cause problems with movement and breathing. It is a serious condition that worsens over time. Unfortunately, there is no cure for this disease. I was given the life expectancy of 5 years old. Have you ever thought of what you could achieve in 5 years? Well, I asked a couple of people. The answers ranged from you could gain confidence, learn knowledge, you could get a degree, you could even learn to walk again. That one seemed quite interesting. So obviously, I'm under the age of 5, and I'm not going to be achieving many of those things. However, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. We're in this predicament of the unknown. My parents have been given little to no knowledge about what SMA even means, let alone what the statement of take your child home and enjoy the few moments you have with them even means. So we started the questions. This takes us to the defining moments of when certain things happen that determine your life's trajectory. So I think I've had 3 pretty defining moments in my 25 years of life. And I think the first moment was definitely my family. Now, I was born into a family of 2 parents, 2 older siblings, and of course my twin, and then the rest of us. And they are my first defining moment because they made the original decision that we as a family were going to fight. 5 as a number didn't really work for us. As you can see, we don't do small numbers. My second defining moment was finding a place to go to school. Now, as a concept, going to school is what everybody does. But it's a little bit different when you go and ask to join a school and they say, we don't take people like you. Now, I come to understand over the years that it's not meant to be personal. It's meant to be a lack of understanding. But it also leads to the questions of, am I enough and is it me that's the problem? But it wasn't me. It was, there's no accessibility and there's no understanding as to what it means to have a child in a wheelchair in your school. But it is really difficult to not take this personally. But I think it was the first moment I grew a little bit. My third defining moment was what I determined as one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. In 2012, I had a back operation that was 6.5 hours and 9 weeks initial recovery on your back. Now, I've been in hospital before and I've been sick before, and I know I'm considered to be a pretty strong person, but this gets your mentality thinking. And it was probably the first time I had genuinely given up. And funny enough, thanks to some One Tree Hill on TV and good family laughs, I managed to make it through. But one of the reasons I made it through was because I decided that I had a point to make and I had a life that was worth it and was worth living. So I joined the Rare Diseases Association initially as a volunteer and then started championing for change. The concept of championing for change is to be a part of the change that you want to see in the world and to create accessibility from a disabled perspective. The world is designed to be effective and efficient, but it's not designed with all people in mind. And it's funny to think how many stairs you might have taken today before you sat down in your seat now. It's not something you think of until you don't have a choice and you don't have any other option but to take a different route than the stairs you were given. So, what is my future? Well, I really believe that this is a question that we all ask each other every day, and most of us never really understand what it means. But our future is what we make it, and it is what we decide it's going to be. So, my future is probably the chaos that it already is, and there's probably a lot more chaos to come. I believe that I've been able to become this far because of hope. I've made it this far because I didn't look at my life as an average 25-year-old. I looked at it as I had a bigger point to make and I had a lot to succeed. I'm really grateful that I have a mainstream job and a life that brings in for my family and also contributes equally. So when you're in a wheelchair, you have to be able to ask for help. And in the beginning, I wasn't very good at it. I'm probably still not, if you ask my family. But I also learned that the reason that they help you is because they want to. People aren't trying to be mean or negative. They're trying to help because they genuinely want to learn and understand. I am an aunt, I am a daughter, I am a sister, I am a girlfriend, and I feel that having grown up with this burden complex and being worried about having what was considered to be a normal life hindered the decision of what was going to be mine. I do have a life, and it's normal for me, and it's normal for my family. Ramps are part of our future, and they're part of what we understand. I definitely think that this isn't a sad story, it's one that is positive. The saying goes, when you can tell your story without crying, you've healed. Well, there's no tears yet, but I'm pretty sure there's some somewhere, and they're probably from my mom. But I think we've healed, and we've been a part of creating awareness and change within the country, and that's what we aim to do. So, what is next? Well, the future's not in our control, as we realized, and we don't really get to make that decision. But the possibilities are endless, and the opportunities are out there. It's just our responsibility to take the greatest route for us, and to be a part of the change as we take it.